influences. Um, One thing that and subliminal, and about how the different advertisements and ads, even though we don't pay a lot of attention to it directly, it indirectly affects our emotions and has an impact on how we feel, and it imprints memories and feelings and that type of thing. Um, I happened upon by mistake this documentary called The Gray State. When I'm bored sometimes, I do a random searches, like I might type in the letter A, see whatever pops up, and I'll scroll through the results and try to find something that interests me. So I think in this one though, I typed a little more. I think I typed in documentaries, and I scrolled down and I found this thing called The Gray State. I halfway watched it. Most of it was me listening, like probably like 85% of my attention was to listening. The other part was playing a game, and I had earphones in one ear listening to the documentary, and I had the earphones out in the other ear with the background sounds from the game. So about a third of the way through or so, you could hear like this voice in the background of the video, the particular one that I watched anyway, because at first I was watching the one that was broken into pieces. Then I found one that had it all together because I got tired of having to try to find the next part of it. So I looked for the Gray State, and it's like an hour or something long. But for that particular one, I forgot who the poster was on it because it may be different for different posters. Who knows? They may have manipulated it or whatever. But I have a feeling that they didn't, and I'll tell you why. Like maybe a third of the way through, or enough time for you to have watched it enough to be, kind of engrossed in it or let it catch your attention orally, AURALLY. You start to hear there's like in the background a voice. You can't make out the words, but it's like donna donna. Every like in increments, it would do that. It would say something. You couldn't make out what it was saying, but you could hear a female voice, very monotone but pleasant, saying something. And I didn't think about it. I thought, well, maybe it's a part of the game, because like I said, I had one earphone on that and the other ear was out. It might have been like the background sound from the game or something, or it might have just been part of the soundtrack. I wasn't really listening 100%. And I didn't think anything of it. I went on about my business. But then I came to see that this guy that created the documentary, his name was David Crowley, and his last name, coincidentally, is the last name is Aleister Crowley, who is like I don't know if they're related or not, the Satanist guy, whatever, you know. But I don't know if they're related or not. But that documentary, I don't think it was something that he himself, I don't know if he himself created that documentary or not, because they were questioning, and another like response thing I saw to it, they were questioning that he did it, because actually he created a movie that was to be released. He was hoping sometime, I guess this year or next year, called, I don't know, something about, it was a Gray State movie, and it had to do with, all these things about the changing times and so forth, if you know what I mean. So they found him. He was working that movie like last year, like the end of last year. They found him, and they're from Michigan, Apple something, really cute name, Apple something, Michigan. They found him, his wife, and they were young, like 29, late 20s, and their little 5-year-old daughter, all dead in his place. And they said it was a murder-suicide. So I'm watching all these things connected because, of course, it's interesting, to this thing, the videos. And then there was one person that actually, I think it was called the True Prophet or something like that. He was saying not to watch it. And I was wondering, why would he say not to watch it? Because all of it's the same, really. If you look at the world around you, if you are a conspiracy person, you can, everything is what it is. You can make it whatever you want it to be, But the bottom line is that you need to pay attention to your life and live your life as fully as you can, while you can, and whatever happens from there. It's not, you don't need to be afraid. That's how I feel about it. I mean, you can, because the end of it all is it is what it is. Y'all know some scary things I've been through, and actually some scary things that continue to happen. But it's your choice. You choose. Do you want to have an understanding of what's going on and be okay with it, or do you want to be afraid and be panicked? It's up to you, and that's whatever in life. Whether it's crossing the street, whether it's false accusations and convictions and all that, whether it's having to fight against, just anything negative. I mean, everything in this world is here because it's supposed to be good or bad. And it's all a matter of perception of what's good or bad. It may be bad to you that somebody lied on you, but for them, they feel like they have to survive, So I mean, it's just and I believe I'm not a Satanist, and I don't subscribe to any religion, but I do believe in God, which to me is just a higher power. Period. You can call it whatever you want to call it, but I do believe in that, and I believe that everything is everything. It's here for a reason. We all have our purpose and our part, but we play it. But going back to the story, so the guy that had the True Prophet channel, I think is what it was. Um, he was he. I didn't pay no attention. I did hear whatever was in the background, but I didn't pay any attention because I figured it was something that I wasn't paying attention to, and that it was meant to be there. But when he came, he did this video that said not to watch it. He said not to watch it because there's subliminal messages in it. Now, I didn't really watch the video with my eyes. Like I said, I mostly listened to it, and I think I may have glanced at it like maybe 0.5% of the time. Like I may have glanced at the screen like once or twice, and that was about it. And he said not to watch it because there were subliminal messages. There may have been. And he said that a third of the way through, and this is what perked my ear about what he said, that there was, and maybe he was saying this because he didn't want to sound crazy and say that he heard it. But there is. He was like, there's subliminal messages throughout. And he says what he believes. And I don't think but I think if it was really subliminal, they wouldn't make it for you to hear it. Because you could hear it. You could hear it. You can hear it. You can most definitely hear it. It's undeniable. It's there. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't think it was subliminal because I figured if it was subliminal, they would have tried to be at least a little more discreet about it. You know what I'm saying? But it was loud and clear. You could hear it. You just couldn't make out what the heck the woman was saying, but you could hear it. And he was like, and at first when I first heard it, I thought it was just like for a certain portion of it, but it did continue almost throughout the whole remainder of the movie during different segments. So just to let you know. So, I mean, could it be that? It could be. And maybe they hide it in plain sight. But I don't know. And what his theory on that was, and he didn't say exactly what it was because, again, he didn't want to sound crazy. But what his theory on it was that that was a subliminal message, and there's going to be a time when something's going to be broadcast where people are going to, like the MK Ultra thing, people are going to respond to whatever it was that they heard. And what his little conspiracy theory or whatever was that, and I hate to say conspiracy theory because I'm not discounting anyone or anything. Anything is possible in this world. I'll just leave it at that. But what he was thinking was that the reason that he put these things out is to incite anger and hostility among people. And it's going to be a point where they broadcast something, and when a particular thing is said, then everybody's going to rile up and go crazy. Try to fight and, all this stupid stuff. So, and it could very well be the case. Who knows? Yeah. So I got into that because I was talking about different things. My little point system for the little game I was playing, how I deducted 10 points for the thought about Kroger reminded me about my ex, and that happened by mistake. Deducted another 10 points for the ad that came at the beginning of the video that made me feel a certain type of way. Gave myself, like, I don't know how many points. I'll say 20 to 50 points because as I was walking down the street, this guy rode past me on a bike, and it was like a real skinny guy, and he had like, where you would have a bottle of drink or something. He had like a little thing of orange juice, and when he drove past, it was a very clean smell, whatever. And so it reminded me of good things. There was a couple other things that reminded me of good things. So my walk was mainly positive. A lot of good things came of it. What am I doing right now? I'm crossing the street to go to the church. I hadn't planned on it, but I happened to walk by, and I've never been there before. And I was always curious about it because it's gated in. It's at the end of a little cul-de-sac. I'm not dressed for church, not at all. And I'm in the middle of the street. So yeah. And the other thing about it is I'm extremely hairy. I haven't probably haven't shaved in like, I don't know, probably 3 weeks. I'm not proud of that, but usually I hide it, but today I'm not. And so that's even worse. Not only am I not dressed to be in a church, my legs are hairy, like from the calf to my ankle, like from mid-calf to ankle, and it's really clear. It's like a bush. But I just want to kind of get the vibe. I know it's not going to be a good one because churches these days, like I said, institutions, there is one that I wouldn't mind going to, but it's way on the other side, and I would have to walk. So that's not what I'm trying to do. And it's like the way this church is situated, it's a gate that leads in, and it's a street. And the street is kind of narrow, so it's almost like one car at a time, or if it's two cars, they're like right up against each other. So if you're walking and all the cars are coming, it's crazy. But we already know how this is going to turn out, but I'm just being nosy. I want to see like what's in there and like the energy of the people and feel the purpose of the people going to church, how they dress when they go in, how they interact, that type of thing. Anyways, I love y'all. Bye.